Never watching renovation videos, so I don't know how this video is gonna turn out and how I should film and so on, but let's just jump right into the filming and we will see how it turned out. Because in case you're here for the first time, my name is Matsunaga and I'm a fully trained and certified kimono teacher and stylist. And usually on this channel we're only gonna do kimono things. And you have clicked on this video with this title and hopefully also the thumbnail. Yes, we're gonna put together a sewing room for me. I think without further ado, let's just go and I'm gonna show you the room. So this here is the room. It's all sorts of messy. I call this room our panic room because whenever we don't really know where to put stuff, we're gonna put it in here. For example, this microphone stand that I'm recently also using for overhead shots. My newest purchase for my filming equipment. I'm actually really happy with it. But it's so big, it seriously doesn't fit into the space where I have all my other camera stands and light stands and whatever I have. So I just put this in here, and you can also see there is some boxes here on the floor. Those are literally stranded packages for Patreons that I can send right now because somehow Japan Post isn't sending to many countries on this planet right now. This room in general has about 6 jo, it's 6 tatami mats, and yes, this is how they actually tell you the size of a room. It makes completely sense. I personally find it easier to understand when you know how big Japanese rooms are. I find telling me the size in tatami mats makes way more sense or way more imaginable to me than being told the square meter, or I think in the US you have square feet. I think to remember it's square feet. And I'm gonna still put the square meter and square feet question mark on screen so you have an idea how big this room is. I personally find it extremely tiny. I think it's a really small room. It's actually the smallest room in our house. And I decided to use this room, which is our sub guest room, because it has some storage in here already, which means I don't have to put a lot of money into storage because I already have a really nice built-in shelf here. In this shelf you can see empty boxes because I'm a hoarder for empty boxes, actually, because I send very often stuff and having boxes by hand is good. I have my board games are all in here. These are not all my board games. I also have still a kimono box in here, a kimono storage box that I brought from our old apartment. And it's right now filled with kimono that I'm either gonna put into a closet purge or I want to retailer them to something else. So this box will be empty out and then probably filled in again. So this box is gonna stay here. I also bought a TV already because I'm always watching YouTube or Netflix when I'm sewing. So I wanted a bigger screen in here. This room actually also had a sofa in it and we already pulled it out. Now I was not wearing kimono on that day, luckily, because I actually fell on that day, destroyed the trousers and actually had a bleeding knee afterwards. If I would have worn a kimono, that kimono would be absolutely destroyed right now. So I'm actually happy I didn't do that. The kimono gods were deciding for me not to wear a kimono on that day, and that is why that kimono was saved. Okay, but now seriously, let's get started. This room itself is tiny, yes, but it's actually big enough so I can put in here quite a big table. Not a huge table, but it's a good size table that you would use for sewing. If I could put in a bigger table in here, I actually would, but also that table that I have purchased is absolutely fine. The table's gonna come in 2 days. So we want to finish off the wallpaper until then. I have some more furniture and also new curtains purchased actually. And it's all gonna get here until mid-May. So we'll see when you will see this video. So it took us a tiny bit to get used to put on the wallpaper, but I think in the end we did a really good job. There were some tiny things that happened. For example, my husband taking off the ventilator and smashing it against a freshly wallpapered wall and digging a hole into the wallpaper. We still had enough left, so we took down that part of the wallpaper and redid it. But then we were about to run out of wallpaper and magically it matched up everything. So that's really amazing. It looks really good. Seriously, I'm extremely happy with how everything looks like. When you look at the footage really closely, you probably have noticed that renovating in Japan is really, really different. For example, you don't take off the tiny wood here on the bottom of the wall, what you usually would take off, and then you put on the wallpaper, and then you would put it back on to show the unevenness of your own cutting. Obviously in Japan, people do not know what this is actually here for, and what you now do on top of that is, I think this is some type of silicone you put now here between the wood and where the wallpaper meets, and you basically seal it off so you can't see that anymore. I've done a test run yesterday, it doesn't look too good. So I thought I'm gonna get a good rest and do this today. So this is what I'm gonna do today until my furniture arrives, hopefully soon. Alter, meine Füße kommen nicht mehr am Boden. So dumm, ey. Ah, Kenzie kommt wieder heim. Der freut sich bestimmt auch. I don't even know where I have left you off with the last footage. I think it was building up the table. I have to be honest, we started this project in the beginning of Golden Week. Golden Week is in Japan a bunch of holidays in a row. It's usually end of April, beginning May. It's usually the first May week. And most Japanese have off on those days, and because my husband had off and we usually never have holidays together, I took off a week too, and we started doing this in the first 2 days. And then a friend was coming over for Golden Week and I had to clean out my guest room number 1, and actually everything that's in here now was either in guest room number 1 or in my sewing storage space. The table right now is a pure mess. That's what I'm gonna clean out today. And also we couldn't finish off the shelf because some screws actually were, how do you call it, not really screwing in. They had nothing to feed onto, so you can probably screw them into the wall. So we had to fill it with a paste and then wait for 24 hours to put it back in. So now I can screw the rest of the screws in, and then I pull back up the shelf, and then it's finally time to probably put all of my fabrics and sewing machine and whatever into the shelf. The reason why I really have to finish this off today is because the last piece of furniture is coming tomorrow and we have to build it up here. It's not IKEA, but we will still have to build it up by ourselves, and we need some space to do that. So these are the moments in my life when I wish I could just go home and ask my dad to do it. You see that we have this really cool shelf where you can change height of your shelf whenever you want to. It would be even cooler when both sides would have the same length for shelves. This side is 1 centimeter wider than this side, which means this last board that I actually want to put in here is 1 centimeter wider than I need it, so I can put it in. And I know that a bunch of you are now watching this and saying, oh Billy, if you would be here, I would so cut this for you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Like, seriously, cut it for me mentally. Schon fertig. Das kann ich doch gar nicht zusammenbauen. Das ist noch cool. Yeah. The seriously best surprise today was that this is already put together. Okay, this was worth the money. I love it. Because you can see it's actually very tiny chest, but because it looks from, when you look from like this, it looks like a full-size chest. So it makes the room look a tiny bit bigger because it looks like you can still fit a whole chest in it. And because the room is still a tiny bit small, I chose Hikido. Sliding doors, doors that slide. So you can just open it up even when you have no space, because you don't need the whole space to open it up. You just slide to the side. So there were a few reasons why I chose this. Oh, very cool. It even has like it has a tiny ribbon with it. You can screw onto it and then onto the wall. So this won't fall in an earthquake. Oh, this is really cool. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put this onto the wall. I'm actually thinking about putting an earthquake stopper under it anyway. Yesterday, by the way, I ventured out and I found actual laundry baskets that I really wanted for these boxes over there. That is basically rests of my stash. And I found the perfect garbage can for this room. I am so happy. It has almost the same color as the wall, so it fits perfectly in here. I'm still waiting for the laundry baskets to arrive, and my husband and I talked about what to do with the shelf. We're probably gonna go to a DIY store where they let you use their stuff, which you will have to pay for just cutting a centimeter off that stupid board for the shelf. So we have to do the rest of the tightening up part. This table is still very, very interesting. I have actually purchased an antique sewing box, Japanese sewing box, and I want to put all my sewing stuff in here. And when this box is empty, I finally can put away the renovating tools that we have used, and then this table will be actually clean, which is amazing, and we can finally start to work in here. I can't believe that this day is actually coming. This is the finished sewing room. It's already looking like this for more than a month, actually. And it's in heavy use already. I actually cleaned the table up for today, but actually the kimono I'm working on right now is just lying on this table every day, and I'm just gonna keep it as it is. I'm just gonna fold it up a tiny bit nicer and then just gonna keep it. As I thought, it's gonna make me work way more on my sewing projects because I can just come in here and say, I'm just gonna finish off this one seam and then I'm gonna be done for today, which is really cool. Yes, for sewing rooms. I did not believe that I actually needed one, but yay! The next thing I'm probably gonna save up for is actually air conditioning, because wearing kimono in this room and having the sewing iron on, it's extremely hot in here. And oh, hello spider, where are you from? Sorry, no. With the sewing iron in this room, it's just getting really, really hot. I'm wearing kimono. Right now I'm just working with a ventilator. It kind of works, but it's still just way too hot. I'm getting distracted by the spider. Oh, she's so cute. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm already editing this video and I'm bored to death, and I hope it turns out better than it is right now and that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a comment, a thumb up, probably share this video. It would help me out a lot. And if you want to stay here and want to learn more about kimono from a professional kimono teacher, feel free to subscribe. I would be really happy to have you here, and I talk to you in my next kimono adventure. Bye!